urgent message. I need all of you to go and locate whatever you have in your account right now. Go and meet someone, borrow, beg, steal if you have to make sure that you contribute to this 1111 seed. At this point, I don't care how much it is, just go and find money to make sure you contribute to this 1111 seed for our Pastor Toby's birthday.
Welcome to The Exposer. Today we will be exposing one of Spac Nation's most powerful ladies, Pastor Nikki. Pastor Nikki used to be a kind, caring woman. She used to always put others before herself. Spac Nation have found a way to mess up her mindset. They have turned her from a nice, caring woman to now a evil, money-hungry woman. Before she became a pastor, she had a habit of giving. She had her own job and was involved in other businesses. She was a good giver at Spac Nation. This is why they ordained her as a pastor. After becoming a pastor, she was still a nice and caring woman, but she wasn't as powerful as she is today. Reason why: at her fellowship there was a pastor who in Spac Nation they call Pastor Daniel, was the leader at her fellowship. But when Pastor Daniel was transferred to a different fellowship, Pastor Nikki was asked to step up at her fellowship, which was called Elite Fellowship. When Pastor Nikki stepped up to become the leader of Elite Fellowship, she began to change. A lot of the members at her fellowship started to realize this. But this was just the beginning. Pastor Toby always knew Pastor Nikki was one of his most trustworthy. To a certain extent, she's one of his slaves. Pastor Nikki would do anything Pastor Toby asked of her. And he knew that she idolized him. So what Pastor Toby started to do is, he started to make fun of the giving at her fellowship. He would always make fun of them at service, saying that Elite did not give enough. This would stress Pastor Nikki to a point where she became a different person. She started to stress everyone at her fellowship. She started to preach about giving 24/7. She started to force members of her service to give more. She would give them a sum that they have to give. She even would call out some of her members and say to them in public, this month, you need to give everything you have. And she would say that it's a calling from God. Pastor Nikki became very, very demanding. She started to feel the stress. And Pastor Toby knew she would do everything he asked her to do. She went from one of the most selfless ladies to one of the most selfish women in Spac Nation. As long as her target was met every month, this would be the only thing that makes her happy. She was forcing everybody to take out loans. She would preach about the importance of giving and why it's acceptable to take out huge sum of loans to give to Spac Nation. She would scam her own people. She would force them to take out loans, and she would tell them it's the right thing to do. She would go on and on and on until the people gave in. She would preach to her members to bring wealthy souls. She would say, do not bring regular souls to this fellowship. Only bring souls with value. This is what she would say. Once members of her church bring souls, Pastor Nikki would do everything to persuade these members to stay at the fellowship. She would invite these young men to the restaurant. She would sometimes take them shopping just to get them comfortable with her, so they would believe her. And once they believe in her method, she would start to force them to give. She would tell them, I have everything I have today because I give everything. She would tell them, do not worry about what you have today, but worry about what you will have later on. This is what she would preach to them. But she would do everything. She would even try to seduce men in the church so that they would give. There's rumors that she would do things behind the scene, as in sleep round with certain men to get money from them. When she didn't reach her target, she would do everything necessary to make sure her seed was met every month so that Pastor Toby will be happy with her. This is the lady Pastor Nikki has become. This is due to the manipulation of Pastor Toby. He has manipulated this lady who looks up to him. He made her believe that everything the church is doing is to help people like Pastor Nikki in the future. So she has a mindset that Spac Nation in the future will give her businesses, will give her a home, will give her everything that she wants. So she believes everything that she's doing today is to profit in the future. So this is why Pastor Nikki has become one of the most corrupted pastors at Spac Nation. Pastor Nikki has so many debts inside Spac Nation because she has manipulated so many people to invest into businesses which they never got their money back. She has manipulated people into borrowing her money which she hasn't paid back. Pastor Nikki has lied to so many members in the church who have given her money, and she cannot afford to pay them back. This is a lady who sold most of her assets just to give to the church. This is a lady that's given too much to Spac Nation, and she is too deep in, and she's so blinded by Pastor Toby that she can't come out. Pastor Nikki is afraid to leave Spac Nation because she knows that if she leaves Spac Nation, all the members that she owes money to will chase after her. So the only reason why nothing has happened is because Pastor Toby has intervened, and he tells members of his church to forgive and forget when it comes to giving. So this is why Pastor Nikki is still there. This is a lady who has been manipulated and is still manipulated, and she really believes in the pastor who has used her to profit from her, and she's blinded. She has lost so many of her leaders at her fellowships. She lost a lot of members, and she is aware of what's going on now, but she is afraid to leave Spac Nation, and this must be exposed. Pastor Nikki must be exposed. So this is the exposing of Pastor Nikki.